Saturday, 12:30, Kenilworth Road, Chelsea take on newly promoted Luton Town for the second time this season. We've got a chance to make it back-to-back wins, and we have a chance to wave goodbye to an awful, horrendous, abysmal 2023 and hope that 2024 promises better beginnings. Right, people, what's happening? And welcome back to another video. If you are new around here, at the end of the video, if you like the content and you want to see more from myself, please hit the subscribe button and also click the bell so that you get a notification every time one of my videos goes live. Please do me a massive favor right now, smash that like button. It helps the channel more than you can imagine. And also, speaking of channels, I have now launched my second channel, the Joey Knight Boxing channel. If you're into your boxing, head over there. It's linked in the description where you can subscribe and see all of the boxing content. In this video, we are going to preview Luton as the opposition. We're going to speak about Saturday's game, what Chelsea need to do. I am going to give my starting 11 pick, and ultimately we give a score prediction for this game. Let's get into it. Right, so it's a quick turnaround, isn't it? Because it literally feels like we've only just played, and I think the feeling that we got from that Crystal Palace match probably overrides and masks the truth about that match, because in my opinion we didn't really play well. If you were to put together a little highlight reel with Chelsea at the moment, you could make us look brilliant, couldn't you? But what I do believe is we do have huge periods in those games of lackluster football, and there are signs that things are getting closer to coming good for this Chelsea side. But please don't mistake getting closer as to being close, because we're not close to it coming good at this moment in time. When you look at the table at the moment and you look at the teams that are above us that realistically we're thinking we could catch up with, maybe Newcastle, maybe West Ham, and definitely Brighton, you know, when you look at those three teams there and you think, okay, surely if Chelsea can get something going, if we can get a number 9 in potentially, we should override some of those teams in the table. Maybe not Newcastle, because I do think they're a very good side, but Brighton and West Ham, we should be able to get above them. When you look at those teams and you say, right, okay, if those two teams there, Brighton and West Ham, play a full 90 minutes of football, how often can they go 90 minutes without making a clear and obvious defensive error or defensive mistake? Well, I would argue that those two teams there can probably go 4 out of 5 games without making a clear and obvious defensive error. However, when you look at Chelsea so far this season, I can't tell you 90 minutes. I really can't tell you 90 minutes when we haven't made a clear, obvious defensive error or mistake. And sometimes it can slip your memory, because sometimes we'll make one and we're not capitalised on, or we're not punished for it. You know, Thiago Silva the other night slipped over again on the ball. Crystal Palace were in, but they didn't end up doing anything with it. And for that reason, it can slip your mind. But there's so many mistakes in this Chelsea defence that I don't think it's as simple as saying, okay, we go out and we buy a Victor Osimhen and Ivan Toney, maybe another name in the January transfer market, and all of a sudden, because we've got someone a bit more reliable up top to put in the goals, we're going to be fine. Because at the moment, this defence needs coaching massively. And when we look at Saturday's game away at Luton, they're a team that surely are going to trouble our defence at times. Listen, Luton are good. I have been saying from the start of the season that I thought Luton were going to stay up. And you know what? Even though Everton are starting to pull away, I do think there's still a potential that Luton could stay up. I don't think they're a bad side at all. I think at Kenilworth Road, they're good. We've seen Newcastle go there and fail to win. We've seen Liverpool go there and fail to win. We've seen both City and Arsenal go there and have tough games. And Luton are coming into this match now off the back of 2 wins. So I do think that Luton are a decent little side. And when I look at the teams that have come up, all of which at the moment are in the relegation zone, I think if anyone's most likely to get out of it, it's going to have to be Luton for me. I think they are the side that I look at and think, do you know what? You have got a bit about you. But what would my starting 11 be to go to Kenilworth Road and come away with the 3 points? Let's get into it. Petrovic in goal. Petrovic has impressed me massively since coming into this Chelsea side. He's a safe pair of hands. He's pulled off save time in, time out. I look at the game against Crystal Palace the other night and I thought he impressed me there. So Petrovic is definitely a man that even once Robert Sanchez comes back, I think should retain his number 1 position between the sticks. Now, let me read out the back 4 to you before I explain how I'm going with this and where I'm going with this. I'm going Axel Disasi at right back, Silva and Colwell in the centre-back pairing, and Malo Gusto at left back. Now, we've seen Malo Gusto switched over to left back sort of halfway through matches. It's happened quite a lot, to be honest, recently. And Malo Gusto has done a good job when he's gone over to the left back slot. But we've obviously been playing Levi Colwell in that left back position, and I've flip-flopped on this idea at times. Sometimes I've quite liked him at left back. At the start, I didn't. And now it's getting to a point again where I just don't. Listen, many better left backs than Levi Colwill, if you call him a left back, will get done by Michael Elise. But I just don't think that the position suits him all that much. And with the injury crisis we've got going on at the minute, we've got no Ben Chilwell, we've got no Kukurea, and it just doesn't seem like Pochettino fancies Ian Maatsen as a left back. So when I look at that and I go, okay, who available has performed best in the left back slot so far? Would it be Melo Gusto when he's gone over there in matches, or would it be Levi Colwill? I would argue that it's Melo Gusto. But that doesn't mean that Levi Colwill is a bad player. He's a player that has been played out of position and not to his strengths. Levi Colwill has the natural instincts of a centre-back. Levi Colwill does not have the natural instincts of a left-back. And that's why I'm looking at that centre-back pairing at the moment and I'm thinking, okay, Badiashile has been hot and cold. He's been hit and miss. Sometimes he's put in good performances. Sometimes he's put in bad performances. I would take him out of the kitchen for the moment, and I'll put Levi Colwill in there with Thiago Silva. We have seen that pairing from time to time so far this season, and it's looked pretty decent. And one man who has looked decent is actually Axel Disasi when he's gone to right back. He offers nowhere near the same amount of attacking threat as Reece James does, but at the moment we are without Reece James, you know. So Axel Disasi over there, I think that one could work. And what I would say is, I don't think Pochettino will go with this lineup whatsoever, but this is my one, and I want you guys to let me know what you think of that as a back four. In the midfield, let's go Conor Gallagher paired with Caicedo, and in centre attacking midfield, I'm going to go Christopher Nkunku. Conor Gallagher, we know what we're going to get from him. Where's this Caicedo? I want to see a little bit more from in this match. And by the way, can anyone tell me, where's Enzo Fernandez? Is he ill? Is he injured? We haven't really heard all that much on him. We've heard it could be a groin injury, a hip injury. At first it was illness, so really don't know at the moment. I'm really hoping that Enzo Fernandez can come back into this side and start to show a little bit more, you know. We were crediting the Brighton game as being his best performance in a Chelsea shirt, but I really don't think it was, you know. Liverpool, opening day of the season, Enzo Fernandez was good. And when we bought Caicedo in, everyone just assumed it would be to pair him with Enzo Fernandez, and all of a sudden it was going to unlock Enzo Fernandez passing range, passing ability, and it just hasn't happened so far. Recently, hasn't even been on the pitch, so we really need to see him come back in here and start to live up to the expectations we had of him. Moises Caicedo, I praised him in the last video, and a few people said to me, well, hold on, Moises Caicedo hasn't been that good. Moises Caicedo has had moments when he hasn't looked that good. What he has done is he's given me a bit of certainty, a bit of reassurance in his positioning. Often, where I want Caicedo to be, he is. He keeps the game ticking over quite nicely, but yes, I would also agree that when you look at the fact that he costs more than Declan Rice, he is putting in nowhere near the level of performances that Declan Rice is. But let's be honest, we are where we are. Who in this Chelsea side are putting in that greater performances? One man who I know who is Conor Gallagher. So I say it every video, I'll say it again now. Do not sell Conor Gallagher. Let's move on to the forward line. I'm bringing Cole Palmer straight back into the fold. He'll start right wing. Nicholas Jackson down the middle. We haven't got any other option really, have we, at the moment? Amanda Broha looked a little bit better the other night, but still isn't looking up to much. David Washington, we haven't even seen him in the first team really. Jackson's numbers are pretty good, and Jackson missed a sitter the other night, but he also converted a good chance the other night, and I think that we need to give the little partnership between him and Nkunku a little bit more time to flourish, because I do think that could potentially be something that works. What I would like to know, right, we look at Romelu Lukaku tearing it up over in Serie A at the moment. How many goals would Romelu Lukaku have scored for us this season if he had started every single match that Nicholas Jackson has started? So Nicholas Jackson's got, 7-8 goals, I think. Top of the sort of XG miss charts, the big chances miss charts when it comes to this Chelsea side. What about Lukaku? How many goals would he have scored so far this season? Do you know what? If things hadn't have ended so bitterly with Lukaku, looking at the way we've been performing, looking at the chances we've been squandering so far this season, I think I'd have Romelu Lukaku back in there, you know. But no, never go back to the ex that cheated on you. Over on the other side, I'm going to go Noni Madueke. Now, let me tell you why I'm going Noni Madueke. I think Noni Madueke has impressed in the last couple of games to sort of Chelsea standards. He hasn't impressed in, terms of being a substitute coming on for a team top of the league. He's no Trossard at the moment, but he has impressed to our standards. Against Wolves, he looked like a bright spark. He looked a little bit more lively. He came on, and had it not been for Noni Madueke, we would not have beat Crystal Palace. He won the penalty, converted the penalty, write the theme tune, sing the theme tune. But Noni Madueke should, on that last performance, be getting into this Chelsea side. But what that means is it'd have to be the expense of Raheem Sterling, of Mykhailo Mudryk. Now, had it have been my choice, I think I would have started Mykhailo Mudryk in this one, because I think Mykhailo Mudryk is now starting to put up better numbers. He's already had more goals and assists in the last couple of games than he did in the entirety of last season, albeit he came to us halfway through the season. But he looks like he's starting to hit a bit of form. He does go missing in games. I'm going to double down on that and admit Mykhailo Mudryk goes missing in games for large periods at times. But he does do some good stuff in games. The pass through to Ian Maatsen, the chance that Ian Maatsen missed against Crystal Palace was lovely. Obviously, he got on the score sheet, and he does look good at times, Mudryk, and I think he should be afforded a run in this team. But obviously, he came off of an injury, didn't he? He was over on the sidelines for a while, got subbed off. And for that reason, then it's a shootout between Sterling and Madueke. And I just think that Madueke should probably start this match. If there is a match for Noni Madueke to really go and prove himself to Pochettino and endear himself to the Chelsea faithful, away at Luton could be the match. He could turn it on and he could look very good. So that means that Sterling's left out of this lineup for now. Obviously, Sterling's been one of our standout performers so far this season, but I just think that starting lineup that you're seeing on screen now should be the one that Chelsea go with. Will it be the one? I very much doubt it, because Mauricio Pochettino is very, very possibly going to play Levi Colwill at left back, Gusto right back, and look, you can't blame him massively for that. So let's see how it goes. Now, we will get chances to beat Luton, but we need to be clinical. I think we need to get on the score sheet early, An early goal can settle so many nerves. An early goal can disrupt the opposition's plans. If they are coming to be resolute and stay very watertight defensively and look to catch us on a counter-attack or for a set piece, an early goal can completely offset that. So that's what we need to be looking to do in this match. One thing I do know is Luton are an old school team. They're quite direct, long balls over the top, good from set pieces, and for that reason, our defence needs to be organised. Our defence needs to be avoiding that thing that I said we do, which is giving away clear and obvious errors and, vulnerabilities within that defence need to be stomped out in this match. Luton aren't really going to look to run at you, twisting you up in pieces, putting through intricate passes. Luton are going to look to get big men in the box, get ahead on set, whip balls in, long balls over the top, and for that reason, Thiago Silva, if he does start, really needs to organise that backline. Another thing I'd say is we know we've got a bad history when it comes to former clubs scoring against Chelsea, and you know what? Ross Barkley for Luton is a man that's impressing me massively recently. The midfielder was obviously at Chelsea for a while. Sometimes he looked like he was going to kick on and be a really good player at Chelsea, but other times, we just didn't see him for so long. Went out on loan to Aston Villa, eventually left Chelsea, but now, the last couple of games for Luton Town, Ross Barkley's doing well, so hats off to him. Let's hope, though, he has an absolute stinker on Saturday. We really need to be winning this game on Saturday, man. When I look at the Premier League table at the minute, it's concerning, isn't it? We've got Wolves on the same amount of points as us. We've got Bournemouth on the same amount of points as us. And I think they've got a game in hand. They're off the back of, 4 straight wins, something like that. So I look at that table and I think that there's always the potential, if results don't go our way and we lose a game, say this weekend, for example, we could slip into that sort of bottom 6 places in the table. And although I don't think we're in any threat of a relegation battle, come on, man. We need to be doing better than that. I think we can use this game as an opportunity to pull away from those teams, Wolves and obviously Bournemouth that we're level with, and hopefully elevate ourselves up the table a little bit, because if we did get a really good number 9 in the January transfer window, then potentially they can start banging some goals for us and we could look at Conference League football, Europa League football towards the back end of the season when everyone else starts to get heavy legs and the games are coming thick and fast for them. And then potentially, we haven't seen it yet, but we could start to benefit off the fact that we are only playing once a week and we don't have European football to contend with. So it could happen. Is it likely to happen off this season showing so far? No, I don't think it is. And one thing that I know that we need to see is Pochettino start to show some of those elite management traits, because I get that there has been sort of massive instability, upheaval, uncertainty and chaos within Chelsea Football Club since Pochettino's arrival. And that's why I've been, I would say, very soft on Pochettino. I think I've been sort of easy on him, and I probably would have demanded and expected more from most of our managers in the past. But the past is the past. We're not currently living in that time, and I do think that Pochettino is the man to get things right for us. But I really want to start to see some of this elite level management that we were hoping that he could bring to Chelsea Football Club. I think that could start on Saturday. I'm not too sure. But all of that being said, I do think we'll win this game. I don't think it will be convincing, you know. I have to put it out there. I don't think it will be as convincing as it was earlier on in the season, a match that I was at Stamford Bridge, 3-0 to Chelsea. Although we didn't play great in that match, you know, we was all right. But I don't think it will be as convincing as that. I'm looking at this game and I'm thinking that maybe a 2-1 win to Chelsea. And if we do get a 2-1 win, at least we see off 2023, I'm not going to say in style, but a little bit better than we've been. At least we can go into the next couple of matches that are winnable games, and we can start to try and put a run of form together. Nearly 20 games into the season, you know, and we still haven't won 3 Premier League games on the bounce. I did not think, looking at our fixtures, that I'd be sat here at this point saying this. So let's see what happens. People, thank you for watching another video. Let me know in the comment section below your score predictions. What do you think of the starting lineup? If you've got time, put your starting lineups in. I love reading all of your comments, so thank you very, very much for that. I will be putting up my match reaction straight away as soon as the match finishes tomorrow, so make sure you're here, make sure you're subscribed, make sure you have the bell turned on. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Remember, my boxing channel is linked in the description to this video. I will see you all in the next one.